Hey guys, what's going on? This is your old pal CHH, and boy do we have some big announcements today for Elm Street. Now before I even get into this, before you start commenting, this is way too expensive. Well, first off, the price point is high on this thing we're going to talk about, but this is not going to be the only thing that's going to be available. So I want to get that out now just so people kind of stop and just, we'll think about this and then we'll get into it. But let's just kind of get into it. First of all, what have we seen so far? We've seen a listing on a French website for the Elm Street box set. Kind of the way Bull Moose kind of sneaks out their Scream Factory releases way too early, and when they're not supposed to do that. And now Zavvi has announced that they have their listings ready. Now, the other thing I'll say is this. The other thing, I got a bunch of messages right now, a couple hours ago. People freaking out saying, should I pre-order? Should I pre-order? Should I pre-order? Listen. You saw what happened last time. There's no sense to rush. I have nothing against Zavvi. You can use Zavvi. But my point is this. You can wait till we get the official pictures and images of everything. But there's something interesting that we're going to do. Now, I was getting ready to film this, and I pulled up the Zavvi US website, but then I also pulled up the Zavvi UK, which I think is where they're based out of. And interestingly enough, there are some things missing on the US website from the UK website. So that doesn't mean that they're going to be different. But with that being said, let's get into it. All right, guys. So right now, we are looking at the Zavvi US website. Now, what do we have here? Nightmare on Elm Street 7-film 4K and Blu-ray Steelbook collection. Steelbook collection. So that's the number one thing to take away from this. It's the Steelbook collection. Estimated release date December 2025. Now, we know that the release date that they had last year for this was the same thing. I think it said December. I can't remember. It might have been October. Pretty sure Zavvi had it December. But this is tentatively supposed to come out this fall. I would almost think probably people will get their hands on it closer to the end of October. Pretty much a lot like the way it was done last year. Now, it says it's slated for an August or September release from those leaks, but my money says that people will not really get their hands on this stuff till probably October. Just my guess. But the price point for this is $259.99. That is steep. Now, this artwork right here, here's the other thing I'll say. Some people are saying, you'll notice it says artwork to be TBC. But here's the thing. There's going to definitely be a standard version of this in America that you can get. And my money says don't be surprised if this is the artwork that they use for that. Now, I'm not saying they are, but we saw what happened last year with Part 1. They basically used the 1998 VHS and DVD cover for the standard 4K. On the Steelbook, they use like a vintage kind of style, and then on the UK Deluxe Steelbook set, they use that outer box as the vintage style, and the Steelbook had the poster art on the Steelbook. The Steelbook from the collector's version for Part 1 is fantastic. But I was looking on the Zavvi US website. Interestingly enough, the product details, you go to click that, nothing. Okay, interesting. Let's go to the Zavvi home base site, which I think is UK. All right, so we got the price at $199.99. Now, here's the interesting thing. Description. Let's read this out loud. A brand new Steelbook collection featuring Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street series, featuring the films on 4K and Blu-ray, 7 Steelbooks, and steel outer case, all with brand new artwork. Okay, so that's the big thing on here that is of interest. Again, for product details, let's see what we have right here. Basically, actors, number of discs, 14. That makes sense. There's a Blu-ray and 4K for each movie. All right, so we're done with Zavvi. We don't need Zavvi anymore. That's pretty much everything we could learn from that. That price point is steep. It better have been. I'm not going to say hooray. For that price point, it better be separate Steelbooks and new artwork. Now, part of me kind of wished they didn't necessarily say new artwork, because you could imagine how nice it would be if it was the original poster arts on the Steelbooks. But this is big. I mean, this is probably going to be something that's comparable to the quality of like that Rambo collection or the Halloween 18 Ends and Kills box set that Best Buy had, those big steel outer boxes. This is going to be something akin to that, which, when it comes to a major studio, I think is kind of best case scenario, because that means that they're, doing something premium. And I remember hearing from my sources I had that they kind of pumped the brakes on this a little bit and said, we're actually going to put our best foot forward, make something really nice for the fans. They were getting the directors involved to actually oversee the restorations, etc., etc. But what's interesting about this now is the Blu-rays being included, because obviously I'm hearing reports from my sources, and other people have come up to me and said, yeah, they're supposed to be having Part 5 uncut and supposedly getting some extra trimmings put back into some other sequels. So then the question becomes, will the Blu-rays be new scans? That I don't know yet. I will try to do my best and reach out to people and find that out, but that could bode very interesting. But nonetheless, this is good for the people that aren't 4K people, if you want to be able to own something like this premium. But at the same time, if it's not new scans, then it may not bode well for you in that sense too. But like I said, we'll find that out. I kind of think my money says that the Blu-rays will probably be the new scans, especially if they're going to have the uncut stuff included. But we'll see. In terms of special features and new stuff, I don't think there will be a whole lot of new stuff. They'll probably report over all the stuff that was put from the 1999 box set. Now, in terms of Freddy's Nightmare stuff, they included a few episodes in the Blu-ray set from 2011, so maybe they'll have some put in here as well, or they'll re-put in the couple episodes that they did for the Blu-ray box set. That we'll find out. But this is pretty interesting. Now, this also makes me want to reiterate, if that's just too over the top for you as a consumer and you're a casual Elm Street fan, or you just want to have the movies on 4K, you don't want to spend that kind of money, which I totally understand. Again, I'm not ever going to try to justify a price point that high. But what I will say is, clearly there will be a more standard version available for the movies, especially in America. The thing is, which could be a downside for these people that are just wanting to do that, that artwork that we saw earlier, that was going to be, the artwork TBC, which is the 2011 box set. I would not be surprised if they do, in fact, reuse that art for the standard kind of collection of the movies with that. That I can see being a thing. Then you also have to wonder, will they put more than one movie on a disc? I don't know. Maybe not. That remains to be seen. Like I said, this is where we're at right now with this whole thing. So this is pretty exciting. I'm hoping we get more detail soon about this. Like I said, I'm going to go do some digging and try to find out even more now that this is out there. But to say I'm a little surprised that they're doing a huge Steelbook collection with separate Steelbooks for each movie, I wasn't even expecting that. That's pretty surprising to me. But another thing, like I said earlier, is I wouldn't necessarily freak out about pre-ordering this right away. I would wait until we get the images from the official images, and then the listings will be available on multiple sites, and you can do Zavvi too. It's not like it's like I said, like I'm not anti-Zavvi. My point is, for the people that I got a ton of messages about this. Don't panic, don't freak out and pre-order right away. Wait. Let's see what's what. Let's get more information. This is going to be available. I know this is going to be a limited collection, but it's definitely, they're going to have enough to go around when the pre-orders hit and the official images and everything come around. So don't freak out about that. The last thing I want to say is, what does this mean for Freddy versus Jason and the remake? Because clearly the remake's not a part of this. My money says, and this is the interesting part of this, that Arrow Video will have not only Jason X, not only Jason Goes to Hell, but I believe that we will see Freddy vs. Jason as well as the Elm Street remake come to Arrow. And I say that because of the way things have been going. Clearly we saw Friday 09 get a sensational release from Arrow Video. And we already know that Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X are in the works. Now the reason we might not have heard of anything yet is potentially because they are doing, like I said, Freddy vs. Jason and the remake. Now, will they do some sort of big box set for all of that? I doubt it. I'm sure they will be separate releases. But then again, we could see something like they did for the Conan Chronicles with doing a collection of the movies and then having separate releases as well. I'm not going to anticipate collector's boxes for those movies, considering if you look at what they did for Trick or Treat and Friday 09, just new artwork, slipcovers, and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to anticipate. But this is pretty wild times, guys. So that's where I'm going to leave everything for right now. Stay tuned. When I find out more, or if I can dig and get a little bit more, I'll be sure to come back and let you guys know. But it sounds like they're going to have a very prestigious, expensive, big Steelbook collection. Or they are. It not even sounds like they are. But we'll find out more information soon, and we'll report back. But don't panic. Don't freak out. Don't pre-order right away, especially if you don't have the money to do it right now. I don't know if they even charge right away on Zavvi, to be honest with you. But stay tuned. Relax. Just be excited, but don't sweat anything yet. For right now, that's all we know, but I'll be back soon to let you guys know anything more I can. This is your old pal CHH. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Sub to the channel if you're not, and stick around. We'll get more information soon. Thank you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.